The planet is now facing an unpredicted era of accelerating and intensifying global climate change, with negative impacts already being widely felt. While global climate change will impact nearly everyone and everything, the greatest impact is already being felt by farmers and anyone who eats food. So, everyone. A problem with that is that industrial agriculture is a factor of the greenhouse emissions. Industrial agriculture makes products like fertilizers, pesticides, etc., but to make them, you have to make them in a factory that gives off tons of CO2. Literally. Not only are these industrialized products harmful to people, but they also make the food unhealthy. So why bother using them then? Because it makes people money. And these kinds of people don't care about what they're doing to the climate and the environment. When you think of climate changing, you think of factories burning things and then releasing CO2 into the air. You think of some of the biggest producers of greenhouse gases are the US and Western European countries. Well, you're correct, but there is one other country that is one of the largest producers of greenhouse gases in the world. China. China is already the top emitter of greenhouse gases, having surpassed the United States in 2006, but two separate estimates now indicate that its cumulative emissions since 1990 are on pace to exceed those of the United States, which would make China the largest contributor to the modern climate change. In 2030, China plans to begin to reduce the amount of carbon emissions. That's also the same year that they plan to have at least 1/5 of its power from renewable resources. Unlike other people around the world, this country is planning to change and trying to stop climate changing. What if we burned all the available fossil fuels on Earth? How warm would the planet get? University of Chicago professor of economics Michael Greenstone, director of the UFC's Energy Policy Institute, and chief economist of President Obama's Council of Economic Advisors from 2009 to 2010, ran the numbers. The Earth's temperature would rise a stunning 16.2 degrees and 23.8 degrees in total from the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. This is why people need to stop and chip in rather than later. If we could reduce the carbon emissions today, we could prevent a drought or a hurricane in the future. Since the Industrial Revolution, the world has become worse and worse because people do not think in the long run. Because people have been using fossil fuels and burning non-renewable resources, the climate of the world has increased by a couple degrees.